want to be out of striking distance at the end of the game. When you're down 3 scores at the end, obviously it's a sick feeling and not one I want to have again.
Good Friday morning. You heard all of those words on 1070 The Fan. And fellas, I'll tell you, for a guy supposedly living on borrowed time, Phillip Rivers is playing like he sure doesn't want to go anywhere anytime soon.
You said borrowed time.
Well,
wait a minute.
Well, hang on. The reemergence of Phil last night and the reemergence of Keyshawn Johnson back
I didn't go
after
nowhere,
a stint on the injured list.
It was a day and a half. I was here Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days.
Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. Get everybody up to date.
As much as they worked me, I felt like it was a day and a half.
Get everybody up to date on what happened. You had a little bit of a foot injury for those that weren't with us earlier in the week.
Yeah, I had a little boo-boo, I would call it. Damn dogs, man. They just laying on the stairs. Laying on the stairs and coming down Monday morning, as I said, and, I'm trying to get over them. They both are there, and I'm trying to hop over them. So when I hopped over them, I missed the step. And then when I missed the step, I landed right on the edge of the other step, and my ankle foot rolled. And then I came in because I just figured, it's going to wear off. And then it stayed with me. And then Tuesday, I was like, and it stayed with me. But then by the time I walked from the parking to over here, it really started to hurt. And now I was like, damn, this ain't going to work.
See, Zubin, this is when you know you're retired, right? If that happens, if Keyshawn's still playing, you go into the training facility, pop. You get some ice on it. Yeah. Next day, you're fine.
No, not no next day. You be back
a day and a half.
2 days. Okay, so you gave me an extra 12 hours. I don't have a trainer.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't even get my wife to rub my feet.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point.
No, I'm serious. It's like they're looking at me at home like I got frogs on my face when I ask them to do something. Hey, in London, can you get the ice? And she's looking at me. Vance, can you do this? It takes him 30 minutes to come do it because he's playing the game. So it's just like...
It's your 8-year-old son.
Yeah. Nobody does. And then the excuse of my wife is that she's doing something else, she'll get to me. It's like, you know what? Never mind.
Well, it depends. How's the feet? How do the feet look, though?
Oh, my feet is on point.
Are they on point?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's no excuse not to rub them. You know
when the summers come out, the sandals is on. Man, come on, man. Come on now. I stay Manny Petty. That's part of it. Manny Petty after the show today. Don't even worry. All right, Zubin.
All right.
Enough about me.
Zubin dying to get back to sports. Just dying. I see him.
No, we're not losing it's okay. It's 6:03. They just getting in the car. They want to hear this. They know what happened last night, but they want to hear about it. More from us, they'll get to it. But look, I'm okay. A little more ice, a little more treatment at home. And I actually bought a stem machine through, what is it, Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do all that stuff.
That's like that's the grocery store now.
I don't trust them people. I just don't trust it. I don't like giving my information to individuals and I just don't. It's not me. But she does it. She likes Amazon and she likes the grocery store people. I'm like,
Amazon Prime, yeah.
They brought some groceries to the house the other day. It was a bag with like 6 things.
$150.
I'm like, you could have went around the corner and bought that.
6 products, $150. That's the life we live right now.
Nostrils flared up, eyes. I'm like, man, what?
To Jay's point, somebody did go around the corner, pick that up, and charge you $150.
Yes.
Exactly.
I would have limped around the corner for the bill I saw. I was like, we got some Persian cucumbers.
Cucumbers?
Yeah, it's a couple things of lettuce, some Advil, and like some grape leaves and something else. And I'm like, you paid this? I'm just like, man, these people, boy.
They get you every time. Convenience.
But you're playing hurt. We appreciate you being back.
No, it's all good, man.
And we're back.
100.
Once again. And the Colts could be back. They are now tied atop the AFC South with the team they knocked off last night, the Titans. They'll play again in Indy November 29th. What a big game that will be. But let's talk a little bit about at the top here. Yesterday when Bart Scott was filling in for you, there was a big discussion about Phillip Rivers and what his short-term future is. When you've played basically in the league as long as he has, you got to talk short-term future, right? And essentially, a lot of people were saying this could be a big game for Phillip Rivers. If they struggle, you never quite know. Jacoby Brissett is there. They clearly wanted him to be in the starter. They've given him an opportunity to be the starter. Couldn't work out. But this is why last night's performance, by the way, bolstered by the NFL's best defense that didn't allow a point in the second half last night, this is why you stick with Phillip Rivers.
Oh, I was waiting for some sound there, but there's no sound. Yeah, I was one of those guys that 4 or 5 games ago, I said, look, he was throwing picks, and he wound up losing to Cleveland, I believe that game was. And I said, look, he's on a pitch count. He's a day-to-day guy for me, game to game. And we got past that, and you say, well, should we bench him? No, you don't want to bench him yet, because when you bench Phillip Rivers as a older, kind of like at the end of the day veteran, it's over with at that point. You can't keep playing games back and forth. Jacoby Brissett comes out and lays an egg, then you go back to Phillip Rivers. Now you're toying with the team and their emotions. Yesterday I was asked, or 2 days ago, I was asked if Phillip Rivers struggles in Thursday night's game, what should they do? I said, you certainly look to see what the struggles are. Can you win the game? Do you have an opportunity to win the game despite his struggles? And put Jacoby Brissett in the game, let's say third quarter, and then they go on to win. Or is Phillip Rivers struggling so bad that you yank him in the first quarter? Just got to kind of let the game play itself out to see what it is. They're on a pitch count with him for sure still. Game to game. This is a game-to-game situation. They're first in the division. Why screw it up now?
Rivers played well, but I think this game, for me, came down to the special teams for the Titans. I mean, as my daughter would say, PU. Like, they stink. Like, they stunk last night. They've been stinking most of the year. I'll get into Gostkowski later. But listen to this little series of scenarios here, Key. So, punter Trevor Daniel, okay, elevated from the practice squad before the game to replace Ryan Allen. Ryan Allen, a pretty, good kicker for this team, but struggled in his first start. Tennessee, 10-yard line. He kicked a 17-yard punt. It gave the Colts incredible field position. 4 plays later, Doink. 27 yards later, Hines makes a TD for a 2017 lead. Then the Titans go 3 and out. Next drive, Daniels gets his punt blocked by EJ Speed. TJ Carey scored a touchdown, 27-17. Bam, in the span of like 2 minutes, that kind of lead. Then I don't know when the last time Gostkowski has made a field goal kick. I mean, it seems like he's struggling. He missed 2 extra points. I mean, he missed one after the punt got blocked. Watching their special teams was dreadful last night, and I know every Titan fan is frustrated with that throughout the course of the season. Yeah,
they struggled. There's no question about it. You had the shank punt. You had the block punt. You had a couple PATs missed. You had a field goal miss. Steven Gostkowski, clearly Bill Belichick got it right when he decided to part ways with him in terms of looking at some of the things that he was doing from a kicking standpoint. The special teams, the block punt, they need to hold up on the front line. That wasn't the punter's fault necessarily, because the punter wind up getting his right steps and punting the ball away, but just so happened people was in his face because they got through the front line of the defense. Then when you look at the shank, that was something when you backed up and you're a punter coming off the practice squad, Jay Will, when you backed up in your own end zone to a degree, you start to panic, and he rushed that kick. So therefore, it's shanked off to the right, minimum gain. They go right back down the field and answer and score the touchdown on the Indianapolis Colts side. But they've got to do a better job offensively when they get down of learning how to push the ball down the field and not relying just solely on Derrick Henry to run the ball. Derrick Henry had a pretty good night, 20 carries, a little bit over 100 yards, had a couple nice runs there during the game, but they've got to figure out how to take their passing game to the next level, sort of kind of like a Baltimore. They need to figure out how, even though they got some great weapons on the perimeter with Davis, the first-round pick out of Western Michigan, the other young man, A.J. Brown, out of Mississippi. I'm surprised Mississippi was so bad when they had both of those receivers. Well, both of them was hurt a lot, I guess, at Ole Miss.
You're adding DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf and Brown there. So when you look at Tennessee, they've got to go back now and take a look at how they want to throw the ball down the field and in situations to make things work for them.
Last thing, I love the numbers, and this has to be mentioned. Yesterday, Phillip Rivers of the first quarter passed Dan Marino for all-time passing yards. He's now in the top 5. If you don't get to a Super Bowl, don't play in one. The statistics, top 5 all-time in the NFL in passing. That just sounds right. Number 4 is Brett Favre. He has to play a few more seasons to catch Brett Favre. I'm not sure he's got a few more seasons left. Phil is dying to be a high school football coach for his son. And the last thing I want to say, Drew Brees is less than 500 yards away from 80,000.
Wow.
Less than 500 yards away from 80,000. They'll play the 49ers this weekend. I don't think he'll get it, but that's something to keep in mind. All-time greats. We've got
Phillip Rivers is 10,000 yards behind Brett Favre?
Yep, so it's going to take a few more seasons. I'm not sure he's got a few more left in him at this point. But again, congratulations to Rivers by passing Marino, and Brett Favre on that list there is at 4th, and then Drew Brees, like I said, less than 500 yards away from 80,000, which is mind-boggling. We're asking on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed this morning, describe your team in 2 words. Brevity. Simple as that. Colts might just be first place. Titans might just be first place. Be a part of the Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zuba Nation on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed.
We have
ESPN
a
nation. Presented by Dr. Pepper. Have you seen how many Twitter followers we have?
We have a nation. Y'all better not mess with us. Our nation gonna get y'all.
We're not global yet. It's just a nation, but 1.5 million people in the nation on Twitter. It's official. College football is back. So is your favorite Dr. Pepper loving college football town, Fansville.
You have a nation.
Head to a store near you to